And now where I am is deconstructing emotions when you have contact with other people and you almost empath with them. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm going to try. So it used to be almost paralyzing. If I have contact with somebody and they're suffering, it feels like I had to suffer with them.
Yes, because in that situation, their vibration is the dominant one, and you move to where they are, and therefore sacrifice your connection in order to have empathy with them. Yes.
So I think it's the last section, or the second to the last session we had. You touched on that, and it kind of lit up all kinds of awareness in me, because it's exactly what I am working on. I'd like to say.
But we have something that we want to ask you, all of you really. Okay. What is so difficult about making all others, comparatively speaking, irrelevant? In other words, and what it often takes is enough exposure to your absolute lack of control when you make them relevant before you finally decide that you're going to make something else relevant. In other words, you have heard us say, we know, that you can't stop thinking about something, because when you say you're not going to think about that thing that you're thinking about that thing that you aren't going to think about. Yes. In other words, you can't, so you have to think about something else. So in the same light, to make something irrelevant, what do you have to do? You just have to make something else more relevant. So is it really as difficult as we are all seeming to make it out to be, to make your emotions? We don't want you to deconstruct your emotions. We want you to make your emotions of paramount importance. And when you reach that place that nothing matters more than how you feel, then you are able to get things again and again and again in proper perspective. We're not asking any of you to figure this out today. We're just asking you to care enough about how you feel that when that conversation turns negative, you do something about it, either by walking away from it, or by changing the subject, or by changing the thought. And most of you are more committed to your politeness, or you're more committed to your obligations, or you're more committed to being there. You're more committed to almost everything. You've made almost everything more relevant than your alignment with Source, you see. So we get why it's a little bit of a struggle to make that alignment with Source not just relevant, but all relevant, all powerful, you see. Give us an example of what you're talking about.
I have two examples. One example is that I almost feel as sometimes people want to invite themselves inside my vortex. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, no one has access to your vortex but you.
Right.
In other words, give us an example of what you mean by that, rather than speaking in the...
I come across somebody, and for some reason they're obviously very attracted to me, not in a loving way, but in some emotional connection. And
so when someone's attracted to me, that means there's something active in me that law of attraction has put us together. So if it feels good to me, then it's a good thing, and if it doesn't feel good to me, then what does that mean? I've got something active that's attractive, unwanted. Yes?
But what if they're, for better use, for better words, clinging?
So you think that they've come to you by no attraction power of your own?
That's why I'm sitting here. I'm obviously.
Well, we really want
a big part of this.
We really want
that's the empathy.
We really want you to consider when someone comes into your experience, it's because something was active. Now let's go back to what we were talking about before. Okay. So let's say that you've been lonely. we're just going to build an example here. Let's say you've been lonely, and so you go to a place where you can meet people. So that's as much clarification as you've done in your vibration. So you walk into this place with this not very clarified vibration, a sort of vibration going all over the place. I just want someone, anyone to talk with. So that's your vibration. So you walk into a place, and here are a whole lot of people. Do you think that you are a vibrational match to all of them?
No.
Do you think that in your lack of precision that you are a vibrational match to quite a few of them?
Yes.
So law of attraction through the path of least resistance, because law of attraction knows what your active points are, not your active and wanted points, your active points. In other words, this is the thing that we really want to clarify. Law of attraction isn't saying, let's match her up with this aspect of this one and this aspect of this one and this aspect of this one because she wants it. Law of attraction is saying, let's match her up with this and this and this and this because it's active within her. So let's say you weren't very discriminating. You had active vibrations going on. Law of attraction matched you up. What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is in the actual physical rendezvous, you realize that you had a vibration that was active that you didn't mean to be active. So now you're having a physical rendezvous that is not pleasing to you. So now what happens? What happens when you know what you don't want? You launch a clarifying rocket of what you do want. So let's say this has been going on for a while. Let's say this has been going on for a long, long while. And so therefore, let's say that you have a vortex that is so clarified, so purified, so specified, because you've been rendezvousing and rendezvousing and rendezvousing. You've been knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want. You have built this really magnificent escrow that is full of the precision of what you want. So let's say you walk into a room and someone, not a vibrational match to what you've put into the vortex, comes to you. What does that, and clings to you? What does that mean? That means you've got an active vibration going that doesn't match your own vortex. Because law of attraction isn't saying, let's give this relationship or let's give this situation to her because it's in her vortex. Law of attraction is saying, this is what matches what she's got going on right now. So that's why we come to you with this new turn of phrase that says, let's deconstruct thought. Let's stop for a little while talking with so much specifics about what you want or what you don't want, because that apparently seems to be keeping unwanted things active within a lot of you. In other words, the more you try to clarify what you want, the more you keep active the vibration of what you don't want. You don't mean to do it, but you do.
Okay.
As you recall, even some of the conversations that you've been having as you've been moving about with one another, aren't you aware that in talking about what you do want, you're often talking about what you don't want? And it seems like a good idea because you're just clarifying, but you're keeping active quite a bit of what you really don't want to keep active. So when we talk about deconstructing thought, so let's go right to the heart of this situation. So are you telling us that you don't want anything to do with this clinging person? Just to answer yes or no, as best you can.
Yes.
Are you saying that you don't want anything to do with any person?
No.
So you're by deconstructing the thought, if you get really specific, you're saying, universe, I want relationships, I just don't want that relationship.
That's, yeah.
All right, stay with us
Yes,
for a minute.
yes.
So, universe, I want relationships, I just don't want that relationship.
Yes.
Universe, I want relationships, I just don't want that relationship. Universe, I want relationships, I just don't want that relationship. What do you think's dominant in your vibration?
That relationship.
That relationship. So now let's deconstruct the thought a little bit. What do I like in relationships? How do I like to feel in a relationship? So now you're stepping back from the specifics of that. I like to feel, give us some feeling words, some emotional words, some sort of thought deconstructed words. Not the kinds of things you want to do and the kinds of things you want to say, but what does the kind of relationship that you're looking for, what does it feel like?
Is smooth. Is
smooth. So smooth. Let's stay there for smooth's a good word. Smooth meaning law of attraction arranged it. So it's on target. It doesn't take a lot of effort.
No,
There's a lot of powerful source energy behind it that has lined it up. So smooth, really good word. Now, can you feel how smooth is a sort of deconstructing of thought? Is it? In other words, it's more about how it feels. Let's talk more about what smooth feels like. What's smooth? Smooth means easy. Smooth means calm. Smooth means nice. Smooth means satisfying. Smooth. So you can add all of those words.
fulfilled.
Fulfilled. Fulfilled means a sort of coming together. It means an adding to. It means a synchronicity. It means an alignment. It means law of attraction has accurately aligned energy. But now we're really talking generally, but it feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Very.
And in the process, you've deactivated all of the don't want that.
Okay, I get it.
None of the what you don't want is active in your vibration at all.
I get it.
So then the next thing to be aware of is you wouldn't have got to the smooth word if that hadn't shown up and given you trouble. So now you can feel appreciation for that. Appreciation for the clarification, appreciation for the opportunity to examine, appreciation. It's fun to interact, it's fun to choose, it's fun to make decisions. It's fun to mold the clay. It's fun to evolve. It's fun to choose. It's fun to have possibilities. It's fun to be out there. It's fun to tune to who I am. It's fun to watch law of attraction give me evidence of what I've tuned to. It's fun to see how I'm doing. It's fun to be consciously aware. It's fun to be creative. It's fun to be deliberate. It's fun to feel on purpose. It's fun to offer vibration. It's fun to know what I want. It's fun to feel good in a relationship. It feels good to be whole. It feels good to be smooth. It feels good to have a smooth conversation. It feels good to interact with others. It feels good to be in a relationship. It feels good to choose relationship. It feels good to bring about relationship. It feels good to construct relationships. It feels good to construct relationships. It feels good to construct relationships from the inside out. So I'm starting with what I do want, how I do want to feel, rather than trying to deconstruct it from what I don't want. Did you follow that?
Yes.
So what just happened? I lived something that was full-blown and manifested and in my face that I didn't like. And I tried to deconstruct it by pointing it out, and all I did was make it more, add to it, get more of it, until it felt like it was dogging me and clinging to me. I couldn't shake myself loose from it because I was a vibrational match to it. So then I began to deconstruct the thought by no longer talking about that, and talking instead of less specific, came upon an emotional conversation, found a word, stayed on the word a little while, sniffed out the word, became vibrationally active with the word until I deactivate. Now, by deconstructing the thought, we don't mean that you make that person cease to be. We mean you break your connection with that person. By deconstructing thought, a better way of saying it is, I'm deconstructing the avenues through which law of attraction has given that experience relationship to me.
Right.
It's like I've broken the circuit. I've broken the circuit. Law of attraction's out there doing its thing, and there are plenty of people that relationship wouldn't feel clingy to. There are plenty of people that's the relationship that they're ready for, or maybe even asking for. It's just not the one you're looking for. And so when you get in the very specific place of defining what's right or wrong about people, or what's right or wrong about their characteristics, all you do is hold yourself in the construction of more of those relationships that you don't want, as you shore up all of those vibrational connections